Hello, my soccer universe. Honestly, the first leg of the Europa League semi-finals this year, it's only spelled disaster for me. I mean, it's a Basque disaster for sure. I mean, being so taken apart by United in 15 minutes of the first half, when everything was going your direction, you just were too overly excited. I think this really played majorly into it, that Athletic Club were so excited that they were too hasty, they did not take their time in finishing, and then they were also too overmotivated in defending, and United really made them pay dearly for that. It's really hard to see Athletic Club getting back into it, even at a Manchester United team that seems everything but rock solid this time around. And similar story, honestly, also for Bodø Glimt. Yes, I think their miracle is probably over, although they got the lifeline laid on. But again, even though this is a really weak Spurs side, a 2-goal cushion needs to be another miracle. And full disclosure, I wanted Athletic Club against Bodø Glimt for many reasons, not only for the stories. I mean, if one of these would have made it, it would be easy to find someone to root for. And this is nothing against either United or Spurs. Yes, I always had more sympathies for Spurs than United. United I never had that many sympathies for. But you know, my biggest gripe with those two teams is that it's exactly these two teams, these absolutely horrid teams in the Premier League. They're gonna play in the Europa League final to play in the Champions League next season. That's what just doesn't sit well with me. It just doesn't compute. And can I also mention UEFA, the refereeing appointment? We had a Norwegian referee in Bilbao and we had a Spanish referee in North London. I mean, we have a Norwegian and Spanish. This also didn't make any sense to me. Does not compute why you want to do it. And yeah, some of the decisions, I guess by a letter of law, they're right, but it didn't feel right to me. It was indicative that Athletic Club fans wanted to see at one point a red card for Harry Maguire on a last man offense. And yes, he wanted it probably too much. But then they were waving all the white towels, and we know what this means in Spain. You know, stop the game right now. This is not a fight anymore. This is not a spectacle we want to see. Yeah, it was a gut blow, but yeah, let's review the whole thing, and we'll talk about it a little bit more after. What a downer for Athletic Club yesterday evening. Losing 3-0 at home to Manchester United was definitely not in the cards in front of a raucous, very excited crowd. But I guess that crowd already played into it also a little bit, because you could feel the overexcitement by Athletic Club on every action. Yes, it lifts you, but it lifted them probably a tad too much. United gave off an early warning shot, and I honestly thought that United might get a decent result at Athletic Club because of exactly all that. But a Garnacho goal was disallowed, rightfully so, for an offside. But then it was all Athletic Club pushing forward, pressing high, creating chances, none bigger than when Iñaki Williams just headed a Nico Williams cross a little bit wide. But you know, Berenguer could have scored. It was all going one way until suddenly Harry Maguire is running on the right side, is not being stopped, can get the cross in. Ugarte heads it over to Casemiro, 1-0 for United. I don't want to necessarily say totally against the run of play, but it came as a total shock, and from that moment on it seemingly all broke for Athletic Club. But it really broke in the next scene, where again Garnacho has a duel on the ground. The ball actually hits his hand a little bit. I'm just about alright to let this go and not necessarily call this a handling of the ball, because you know, he shoots himself on it in the position that he was. But I can see that Athletic Club fans are aggrieved. However, from that, the ball again goes to the right, comes in, and Vivian pulls Højlund back. And the first replay I saw, yeah, this is unfortunately a penalty. I really wanted it not to be a penalty. Full disclosure here, I was for Athletic Club. I want Athletic Club to go to that final. But that was unfortunately a penalty, but that it was also a red card absolutely broke Athletic Club. So you have 3 decisions in just one little bubble there. The handball that's not given, that could have been given. Then you have the penalty that initially was not given, but then in the replay, yeah, don't think it's hard to argue there. It's a clear pullback. The red card, I think, was an absolute blow. I personally felt that the red card was probably too harsh there, but yeah, it's a denying of a clear goal-scoring opportunity, so what can you do? Bruno Fernandes steps up, 37th minute, it's 2-0, and then it's really all broke. I mean, even though Valverde made a few changes in the 42nd minute to shore up things a little bit more, nice who got the ball onto Bruno Fernandes, and it's a nice finish in 45th minute. They even hit them the crossbar in stoppage time. Could have gotten worse, and all the chances second half also fell to United, although Athletic Club kept it at least tight, but they're barely alive in this one. Absolute gut blow. Basque disaster, I would argue. Is the Bodø Glimt miracle over? Well, Spurs completely dominated them for most of the game. They took an early lead after a Poro cross. Richarlison heads it over to Brennan Johnson, and within the first minute it's 1-0 for Spurs already, who continued to be absolute dominant force. Maddison doubles the score in the 34th minute. Could have been more, to be honest. It was one-way traffic. It was only half chances for Glimt at best. Second half, not much changed, and then it came a penalty foul. Yes, Björkan hits Romero as they both want to go for the ball. I really hate this type of penalty. To me, this should be an indirect free kick at best. It's not a penalty, but I know by rule it is. And Solanke steps up, and in the 61st minute, it's 3-0. Spurs even pressing for more. However, Saltness takes a shot at the ball in the 83rd minute. It's deflected in. Lifeline? Question mark, exclamation point. Spurs will have to go and play on a plastic pitch north of the polar circle. We hope for a lot of snow if you want Glimt to win. However, it seems really tough, because, you know, Premier League sides usually get the job done even in adverse conditions, and even if they're as bad as Spurs are this season. I won't surprise anybody by saying that it looks very much like an all-Premier League final in Bilbao mid-May. United have a 99% chance of advancing, and I think this is only because Athletic Club is actually a decent team. And Glimt, 6% chance of advancing over Spurs. You could see Spurs faltering on the plastic pitch. And this is all that is playing, the elements and this very unusual atmosphere. I mean, it is mad and it's wonderful that a semi-final in a European competition will be played so high up north in such a small stadium. And all my sympathies are with Glimt. Heck, I ordered a Glimt jersey even to have maybe for the return leg. But yeah, won't happen, unfortunately. I gotta be honest with that. And so overall, it will be those two really flawed Premier League sides playing the final. Who are the favorites? Well, according to my model, it's United. And I have a feeling that United should be considered the favorites for the very simple reason. This is a team that knows how to win trophies. Spurs don't. And while Spurs might have an overall more solid squad, just Bruno Fernandes alone is enough quality that I think Spurs will have a hard time to handle. But you know, this is a preview of a final that may not happen. So please, I don't have much hope for Athletic Club, but I have some hope for Glimt to actually give us a really special final and not a Premier League with Premier League showdown. Whether we will get a truly special final or it will be the aforementioned Premier League showdown will of course be decided next Thursday, all played at the same time. As I said, let's see how it will happen. I definitely want to see the atmosphere up in Bodo, because I think it's just wonderful that they can play something like that, and they deserve that for all the joy that they have given us so far. And I'm saying this even as someone who is usually for Serie A teams, and Lazio were hurt, but Glimt, that's the story for me this year. So let's hope that they at least give us an exciting match. Well, those are my thoughts. Is there any chance for an upset? Do you think? Please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I know this was not cheery, because I really did not want to see both of these sides have such a good advantage and be so dominant. And it really irks me, because those are bad Premier League teams. What does this mean for the rest of Europe? And I know Athletic Club are not the top team in Spain, but they are a really good team. Well, I guess excitement got the better of them in any case. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like these. And I'll talk to you soon about more things in my soccer universe. Bye. Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, here are some videos and playlists that you may enjoy too. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the little bell icon so you get notified whenever something happens in my soccer universe. And with that, have a wonderful day. Bye!